Detroit Lions, who have ended a couple of long losing streaks in capturing their last 2 games. And here in Miami, taking on the Dolphins, who have some unfinished business as they take the field with a record of 7-7. And welcome to the booth, Dick Stockton, along with Charles Davis. And the Lions have named Shaun Hill today as their starting quarterback over Drew Stanton, who led them to the last 2 victories, Charles.
Shaun Hill has the confidence of the coaching staff and of the team. He can move around, can make some plays. He's just a football playing dude, as head coach says. But he'll need the running game to help him out today. They've approached nearly 200 yards in their last 2 games. And if they get that going, then take the big shots downfield to Calvin Johnson. The guy they call Megatron, they have to target him at least 10 times.
Hill coming back with a broken finger on his throwing hand and facing a Miami Dolphin team. Very strange. Only 1 win at home this year. Can you explain it?
I can't explain it at all, and I don't think the Dolphins can either. But part of the problem, an unsettled offensive line. They haven't been able to get any consistency, and they're going up against one of the better defensive fronts in the league this week, led by probable Rookie of the Year in Ndamukong Suh. This team is tough, tough, tough. And the big question for the Dolphins, though, can Chad Henne start to answer those questions about whether he is their quarterback of the future? He'll have to begin doing so today.
All right, Charles, that's the setup for today, and we'll be back to Miami after this Verizon Mobile update. It is a relatively cool day after Christmas in South Florida, and the winds will be a factor at 32 miles per hour. And these logistics of the game are delivered to you by UPS. Put the power of logistics to work for you at thenewlogistics.com. And perhaps something's got to give here. The Lions have been outstanding running the ball the last 4 games. The Dolphins have been staunch against the run. Lions and Dolphins, and we'll be back for the opening kickoff right after these messages.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Did the little piggy cry wee, wee, wee all the way home?
Yeah?
You're home.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Mrs. A.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
What are you looking at?
Logistics.
Ben, UPS guy?
Well, you see Ben, I see logistics.
Logistics.
Think, Ben is new markets. Ben is global access, China and beyond. Ben is a smarter supply chain. Ben is higher margins. Happier customers, everybody wins.
Logistics.
Exactly.
See you guys tomorrow.
You're watching Fox Sports in HD. Presented by DirecTV.
How about this one?
Not big enough.
This one, this one, this one.
Still not big enough.
What's the biggest one here?
Let's be honest. No one ever wished for a smaller holiday gift. It's the Lexus December to Remember sales event. And for a limited time, we're celebrating some of our greatest offers of the year. See your Lexus dealer.
The contrast of infinite black. The clarity of fast-switching phosphors. The smoothness of 600 hertz. All come together to create what CNET calls the best picture quality of any 2010 TV. The Viera Full HD 3D TV from Panasonic. Get a bonus Avatar Blu-ray 3D disc from Best Buy when you buy a Viera 3D TV.
Right now, hurry into Sears to get the best prices on the largest selection of appliances. Get up to 30% off all appliances, including 20 to 30% off all Kenmore, 20% off all Samsung, and 20% off all Whirlpool, Maytag, and KitchenAid. Plus, get an extra 10% off when you use your Sears card. Search Sears Appliances for our everyday best prices guaranteed. Sears.
All I want is football coverage 24/7, 365.
You are watching NFL Sunday Ticket.
Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
This gives you an idea how strong the wind is as we start this game here. And Jim Schwartz, the head coach of the Lions, and the 2 losing streaks broken against the Packers. The victory ending 19 straight losses in the division, and last week ending 26 defeats in a row on the road by beating Tampa Bay and hurting their playoff chances, and looking for their first back-to-back road victory since '04. And it was also the last time they won 3 in a row. Tony Sperano's team coming in, the Dolphins 4-0 all-time at home against the Lions. But a really strange story. Only 1 win at home this year, that against the Tennessee Titans in mid-November, 29-17. One of the best return men in the league, Stephon Logan, is back deep for the Lions. The Dolphins won the toss and they deferred. They'll get the ball in the second half, and Dan Carpenter gets the game underway. And a deep kick out of the end zone. And the Lions will begin at the 20-yard line. So Sean Hill, who is making his first start since injuring the finger on Thanksgiving Day, coming out. All of the Lion quarterbacks have had injury problems. Maurice Morris coming off a big 100-yard game. Calvin Johnson, as Charles mentioned, as well, coming up big. And Corey Hilliard again starts at right tackle for the Lions. End around to Burleson. And Nate Burleson picks up the first down, getting 12 yards, tackled by Jeremiah Bell. Good first play for Detroit against this Dolphin defense.
And you notice they got to the edge on the first play, avoided the middle where Paul Soliai holds things down, has really increased his maturity and kept his weight down. At the linebacker position, Tim Dobbins will start today for Carlos Dansby. And in the secondary, Jeremiah Bell was a Pro Bowler last year.
From the 32. Hill going underneath to Maurice Morris, and Morris is tackled after getting about 6 yards by Channing Crowder, the inside linebacker. Sean Hill, 2 games under 500 in his career as a starter, has 13 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Second down and 4, and here's Morris not going anywhere. As the Dolphins, who, as we showed you with the outs out, outstanding against the run. And right now, let's send it down to the third member of our team. Welcome, Laura Oakman.
Thanks, Dick. I talked to Sean Hill during warm-ups. He said his swelling in his finger went down considerably. He's wearing a smaller splint, which is more comfortable. But he spent the last 2 weeks teaching himself how to throw without using pressure in his finger. He said it still affects his grip to his follow-through, especially for a guy who has so many throwing angles. The key today, move his hand up on the ball and stay over the top.
All right, Laura, third down and 3. Good protection, and the pass thrown behind Calvin Johnson. Vontae Davis was defending on the play. Not a good throw in the attempt that time by Hill.
And Laura just talked about how he has to move the ball around in his hand to try and keep the pressure off of his finger. I wonder if on quick throws out of shotgun, that if that's not going to affect him at times, because the ball gets to his hands quickly, Dick, but the ball has to be out of his hand quick. Maybe moving the ball around in his hand is going to be difficult for him to do.
And the ball fluttering into the wind as Nick Harris punts. And back deep is Devon Best. And a good punt, sending Best back to his 10. And he is clobbered, loses the ball, a fumble. And the Lions recover. And coming out of the pack is Landon Johnson.
What about the hit by Ashley Palmer on special teams? The Best makes the return, and right there, Palmer, textbook tackle, knocks the ball free, Landon Johnson comes up with it. The Lions, this is their 4th big play on special teams this year. And now if you're the offense, Dick, if you're Sean Hill in the offense going right back on the field, let's see if Scott Linehan's of an opinion that, hey, forget running the ball, catch them a little unsettled, let's attack on play 1.
Well, they spread it out. Several wide receivers. 3. And the handoff is to Morris and the Dolphins. And dragged down by Paul Soliai, the nose tackle, who's having an outstanding year up front for Miami, and a loss of 2 on first down.
He's replaced Jason Ferguson in the middle. This is Soliai playing right there against Dominic Raiola, the longtime center for Detroit. Raiola can't move him at all. Soliai, in fact, moved him back towards the runner. But Jason Ferguson was the longtime nose tackle. He still texts advice to Paul Soliai, and it's advice well taken.
Second down and 12. In motion is Calvin Johnson. And jumping off sides, and let's see if Cameron Wake was drawn off, and our first penalty of the game. Tony Correnti is today's referee.
Neutral zone infraction, defense number 91. Step in the neutral zone, cause an offensive lineman a false start. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
So Wake, who leads the NFL with 14 sacks, anxious to get another one there, and as a result of the penalty, it'll be second down and 7 for the Lions.
And they've gone to the backside of the formation with Calvin Johnson into the boundary up at the top, trying to see if they can get an isolation against Sean Smith.
The handoff is to Morris, and Morris tackled by Channing Crowder from behind. 1-yard gain, and that will bring up third down. Early going here, and the Dolphins fumbling the punt, giving the Lions an opportunity.
This is why the Dolphins have stayed in games all year. Their defense, ball turned over deep into their territory. First 2 plays, they stuffed the Lions, bringing up 3rd and long at 3rd and 6.
Scheffler, the second tight end, is in the slot to the left. Sean Hill nowhere to go, and down he goes back at the 22, and it was Randy Starrs. And a loss of 6, bringing up 4th down.
And why were they able to get to him? There's the coverage up top. Nicely done by Nolan Carroll on Calvin Johnson. On the bottom, Vontae Davis on Nate Burleson. Tony Scheffler trying to work against Benny Sapp, but by the time Scheffler was able to break out on the whip route, no chance to throw the football.
39-yard attempt, and this could be an adventure here with the win. Dave Rayner, last week's hero. And Rayner's kick. And it is good. Just made it inside the left upright as the wind going that way. Here is the fumble by Devon Bess. Palmer making the hit to cause it, and the Lions capitalize and take a 3-0 lead. .39-yard field goal, and Bess fumbling. Palmer making it happen in a 3-0 lead, but the Miami defense, as Charles mentioned, that's been the key to their team this year, and they held the Lions out of the end zone as the wind blows the ball off of the tee. And there is a unusual scoring drive, 4 plays for -2 yards, and Rayner's 39-yarder. Rayner, of course, kicking the tying field goal with no time left against Tampa Bay last week, and then the game-winning field goal in overtime.
Replacing Jason Hanson, their perennial kicker at Detroit, one of the better ones in the league. Rayner doing a nice job in recent weeks.
Rookie Nolan Carroll back deep, and he's standing on his 10-yard line. And this kick is going to be short. Carroll coming up and makes the catch at the 24, and a head of steam brings it out to the 35, where John Wending makes the tackle, an 11-yard return. And so the Miami Dolphins with Chad Henne, and of course, want to see how he manages the team. Running game hasn't been up to snuff this year. Brandon Marshall and Devon Bess have had big years. Up front, Richie Incognito makes his first start at center, although he's played there, and Pat McQuiston at left guard as they have to shuffle that offensive line. And Henne, 0-5 as a starter at home, actually has lost his last 7 straight games here. First down, Henne to throw, and he completes it to Brandon Marshall. And Marshall goes down, picks up 9 yards on first down.
And Dick, Miami shuffled their offensive front in answer to this defensive line of the Detroit Lions. Corey Williams and Ndamukong Suh dominant inside. DeAndre Levy controls everything from the middle. And then back deep, Amari Spivey playing as a rookie, and C.C. Brown in the game, replacing Louis Delmas out due to injury.
2nd and 1 and going to the air here, and the pass out of bounds, and it was intended for Marshall and Nathan Vasher on the coverage. It'll be 3rd and 1.
How about Miami coming out and going no huddle right away, trying to change tempo up and trying to get things going.
You don't have to duck if you're watching this, coming right into your living room.
You got help there. My man caught it right on the sideline. Might want to sign him up and get a tryout.
Well, they only have 1 game left, so they better make that tryout early in the week. 3rd and 1, Lusaka Polite rushes for the first down, the fullback. And he picks up 4 yards on the play and a first down to the Dolphin 48.
He's money, isn't he? When you go 3rd and 1 or less with Lusaka Polite this season, he's now 11 out of 12 on 3rd and short. 3rd and 1 or less. Last season, 16 of 16 on 3rd or 4th down and short. So when you see him in that set, you got to think Polite's coming at you.
And Patrick Cobbs has come into the game. It'll be a first down. And there is Henney to Bess. Devon Bess running after the catch. And he's short of a first down by a yard into Lion territory for a game break. Kurt Menefee for the first time today.
It is simple. If the 49ers lose today, they're eliminated. If the Rams win out, they're division champs. And the Rams are off to the right start. 7-0 on the 1-yard touchdown run by Steven Jackson after a pass interference set it all up. Dick, Charles, Laura.
Within a yard of the line of scrimmage, which is legal. 2nd down.
No penalty. They picked it up. And that's all you really have to know. Jim Schwartz, who's come on strong after the early struggles for the Lions, and they have been struggling for many years. Looks like they may be turning it around. 2nd down and 2. Henney. And the pass caught by Ronnie Brown, and he'll get the first down as he gets past Landon Johnson. So the Dolphins moving the ball, trailing 3-0, have a first down at the Lion 40.
Dick, I believe the Dolphins have come out to start this game going no huddle for a couple of reasons. Number one, they shuffled their offensive line, as you detailed at the start, in answer to the defensive front of the Lions. The second thing with this no huddle, notice there's a lot of passes, screens, pass rushing. They're trying to tire out the defensive front.
Ronnie Brown and Cliff Avril comes up to meet him. And a gain of 2.
See, with all these wide plays, screens, passes, where you've got that defensive front rushing the passer play after play with no real break in between, what they're hoping to do is to slow them down, blunt their aggressiveness a little bit by fatigue, and then maybe they'll have some success later in the game.
2nd down and 8. Here's Henney again with time, and the pass incomplete, and very nearly running down the field was Chris Houston. Patrick Cobbs out of the backfield was the intended receiver.
And here's why one of the reasons Chris Houston had such good coverage was he was there, but then Patrick Cobbs slipped as he goes down running his route. So that play was left out there. The ball was hanging out there for Chris Houston, unable to pull it in.
Well, never has an NFL team won 5 more games on the road than at home, and that's been the story for the 7-7 Dolphins. And on 3rd and 8, both Ronnie Brown and Ricky Williams are in the backfield flanking Chad Henney. Pass is caught by Ronnie Brown, and Brown is tackled shy of the first down at the 31. And so it'll be 4th down, and Tony Sparano with a decision to make.
Yeah, I don't think with a team that's not going to the playoffs, it's much of a decision to make.
You're right.
I think you've got to go out and try and get it right now and get this crowd involved in your ball club.
Tony Sparano winning the AFC East with an 11-5 record the first 2 years. Just about 500, so they're going to go for it now on 4th and 1. And the handoff is to Lusaka Polite, and he'll have the first down as he gets to the 29 of Detroit, picking up 2 yards. So Polite picking up 2 first downs on this drive as the Lions defending against the run, which they seem to know is coming.
And you notice they went towards the left side as Jake Long at left tackle. Inside at guard is McQuiston, number 79. And of course, moving into the middle now is Richie Incognito, number 68. And Toronto, twice now in short yardage, has gone to his money guy, Lusaka Polite.
First down for the Dolphins. Henny tripped up and down he goes. And it was the tackle in the backfield by Damakong Suh. And for Suh, that would be his 9th sack of the year. Actually, Corey Williams was the player who made the play. It was Williams who made the sack as he got to Henny. And a loss of 4 yards.
You don't hear much about Corey Williams. You hear Ndamukong Suh, and rightly so. But Corey Williams, I think, really is the heart of that defensive front, bringing the young guy along with his pressure.
And the handoff is to Patrick Cobbs. And Cobbs stopped by Sammy Hill from behind after picking up 4 yards. So it'll be 3rd down and about 10 coming up for the Dolphins here as they bring in Ricky Williams again.
And finally, the Lions have tilted it in terms of in favor of their defense on 3rd and long. The chains have been in favor of the Dolphins on this drive. 3rd and short, 4th and short, manageable downs. Now it's 3rd and 10. This is better for the Lions.
Marshall to the top and Marlon Moore, the rookie, with him. Marshall going in motion on 3rd and 10. And the snap goes through Henny, who has to protect it at the 44. So once again, the Dolphins looking smart, moving the ball and getting some first downs, and the offense fizzles on 3rd and long.
And one of the things that you read as you prepare for a ball game was Richie Incognito a few weeks ago. Played center against Minnesota, and they asked him what was the #1 thing about moving back inside. And know what he said? Shotgun snap. That was the issue. I have to make sure that I get that to the quarterback. Unable to do so on that play.
So Logan goes back, and Brandon Fields will be kicking for the Dolphins. So an opportunity for Miami goes by the boards, thanks to the sack and the bad snap. Trying to keep the ball in play, but it goes into the end zone for the touchback. And the Lions will start at the 20 when we come back. First quarter, the Lions lead the Dolphins 3-0.
Who are they? What do they want?
In order to save our civilization, we must schmeplicate with a male of your species. In exchange, we offer this.
Schmeplicate? Bud Light? Here we go! I'm doing it for all of us.
It's the sure sign of a good time. The just right taste of Bud Light.
The guys are gone! Here we go!
If you live for performance, upgrade to Castrol Edge Advanced Synthetic Oil. With 8 times better wear protection than Mobile One, Castrol Edge, it's more than just oil, it's liquid engineering.
They say Chicago is the city that works. What some people never understand is it works in a lot of different ways.
He made me superintendent because he doesn't think I'm capable of taking him on.
You're either in or you are out.
I'm in. What if I told you that Gibbons was working with the Irish mob?
You want to take on corruption, this is how it's done. Let's do this.
The Chicago Code, coming this February to Fox.
Fox takes a real look at relationships.
This is my say anything moment.
Oh my God, are you okay?
Traffic Light, a new comedy coming this February to Fox.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
The Dolphins had a nice drive going, and then a sack on a first down play, and then a bad snap on 3rd and 10 by Richie Incognito, starting at center today, normally the starting guard.
On first down, Maurice Morris with the carry, picking up a yard. So the Dolphins ran off 12 plays, but got no points out of it. As we wind down to 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter, Maurice Morris with the big game, 100 yards last week. Second down and 9. And they go to Morris again, and once again the Dolphins are there. They have been very effective so far, Charles, in stopping anything the Lions have in the running department.
This is going to be some chess match between Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator of the Lions, and Mike Nolan, the defensive coordinator of the Dolphins, because the Dolphins' defensive front really doesn't think the Lions can run the ball. But the Lions have to run the ball at some point in order to be effective throwing it. So they can't just abandon it early and decide they're going to throw it 45 times today.
Morris with 5 carries, no yards, third down and 10. Sean Hill going to Brandon Pettigrew, and he is put down by Jeremiah Bell, and it'll be fourth down, punting situation for a game break. Let's go out to Kurt Menefee.
Cleveland and Baltimore, talk about trick plays. The double reverse and pass. Mohamed Massaquoi finding Brian Robisky for the touchdown. Hey, he takes tricks, but whatever works, works. Cleveland leads Baltimore 7-0 in the early going. Dick and Charles.
So Terry Robisky's son involved in that play, and on fourth down, Nick Harris will be kicking. Devon Bess, and the Dolphins looking to block it. Good field position, and Bess is going to let it drop, and a flag goes down as well, back at around the line of scrimmage. Tony Correni wanting to make sure.
Dolphins trying to decide if they want to make them punt it over again, it appears, or if they want to just take the football and have their offense on the field.
Well, they've got good field position at the 48.
Interesting discussion going back and forth about what exactly the penalty is between the officials, which of course has got both sidelines with the special teams coaches. Do I send those guys back out? Am I sending my defense out? Everyone right now just in a holding pattern.
Formation, defense number 29 lined up over the center. This penalty has been refused. First down.
So after all of that, and they actually talked to both coaches, maybe to ask them what they wanted to do. So the Dolphins will start from the 48 when we come back.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Domino's. Oh, yes, we did. By Lexus. To get real-time scores and stats, log on to foxsports.com/Lexus. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Tony Sperano, and he can't figure it out. 1-6 at home, 6-1 on the road, the worst. And the pitch to Ricky Williams going outside, and Lawrence Jackson tackles him from behind. He'll pick up only 1.
Going back to the road woes, or excuse me, the road success and the home woes of the Dolphins, it's almost like they talked to the Harlem Globetrotters in the offseason and got the road success part down. But they've got to talk to someone who knows what to do at home, because the Globetrotters are never at home. They always win on the road. Can the Dolphins get this figured out? Because this is a team that looked like they had a real shot at the playoffs and can't win one in front of their home folks.
Ricky Williams to the 49. So it'll be third down and long.
Been interesting watching the Dolphins, going out with the no huddle, trying to tire out the defensive front, and also they have the wind at their back in the first quarter. So if you want to throw the football, now is a great time, and they've been doing that throughout the first quarter, but haven't had the success in getting points on the board.
And newcomer Kevin Curtis playing his second game with the Dolphins. Number 83 is in the game for the first time on 3rd and 6. 5 wide receivers, empty backfield for Henne, and his pass is caught by Kevin Curtis, or Fasano, the tight end, and a first down inside the 30-yard line, a gain of 20.
And I thought that on that particular play, Chad Henne did a very nice job in the pocket because he's not the most mobile quarterback. He's not going to make you think of Michael Vick, but look at that little subtle movement. Just a little slide step, find the open lane, so he's clear to throw it, and hits Fasano for a first down.
First down, and the Dolphins once again threatening. Handoff to Ricky Williams. And Williams to the 24, getting 4 yards on first down. So for the second time in a row, the Dolphins with an opportunity to make headway on offense. They're trailing 3-0 as a result of the fumble on the punt that the Lions converted for a field goal. And balanced play selection so far for Miami.
And they brought their big receiver to the bottom of the screen. 2nd and 6.
And the handoff is to Williams. And Williams picking up a couple of yards. Sammy Hill on the stop. So then it'll be 3rd down once again.
But it's 3rd and manageable. This is the type of 3rd down that the Dolphins like to get into. They've been much better 3rd down team in past years under Tony Sparano. This year, struggled mightily. A big part of that, the run game hasn't gotten them to 3rd manageable. This time they've got a shot.
Devon Bess is to the top, and Brandon Marshall lines up to the left. Third down, Henne, and bounces the pass, intended for Cobbs. And 4th down, and the Dolphins will attempt a field goal here. Once again, their offense deteriorates when they threaten.
And that didn't look like Chad. I mean, obviously those guys didn't really figure it out because Cobbs is still running across the field. Henne thinks he's going to hook up at a certain point on the field and throws it to that spot. No connection.
Dan Carpenter missed 4 field goals last week. Never missed more than 2 in a game, but he has been an offensive hero this year for Miami. This will be a 40-yard attempt with the wind at his back, and the kick is good, and it ties the game. Dan Carpenter with a game-tying field goal. And we're all even at 3-3 with 30 seconds left in the first. Lions and Dolphins tied 3-3. Pair of field goals marking the scoring here in the first quarter. Stephon Logan, one of the leaders in the NFL in punt and kick returns, but nowhere near the top in the Pro Bowl voting as a return man.
A lot of that is name recognition. Oftentimes they say about the Pro Bowl, you make it a year after you made it, you should make it, and you make it for a year longer than you should. So Stephon Logan putting the numbers up, he'll have a better chance in the future.
So they have to hold on the kickoff attempt, and it sails out of the end zone and all the way out of the end zone. Tony Sparano. 9-7 would mean a lot to this team, even though they have no playoff hopes.
Hi, I'm Captain Brian Lim. I'd like to wish my friends and family around the world happy holidays. Hope to see you soon, and best of luck, and enjoy the game.
And happy holidays to all the men and women serving our great country overseas. 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. First down at the 20. Handoff to Javid Best, the rookie running back, going outside. And despite playing with a turf toe, the #1 draft pick out of the University of California gets a first down, getting 12 yards.
Not just a turf toe, Dick. Double turf toe. How often have you heard that injury?
Never.
I mean, usually you hear about it on one foot. He's got it on both feet. The big toes affected, and this guy was off to a blazing start before the injuries. He is so dynamic when he's fully healthy. That's what the Lions are counting on in the future.
And still leading all rookies in total yardage as the final seconds tick off. Game in which the Dolphins have dominated yardage-wise, but we're all even. It's the end of the first quarter with the score: the Lions 3 and the Dolphins 3. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages. Start of the second quarter. Dick Stockton, Charles Davis, and Laura Oakman. Stephon Logan, play action on the fake, and here's the pass, and it's caught by Brandon Pettigrew, and the big tight end advances it into Dolphin territory to the 34-yard line. Good fake on the flip to Logan, who moved into the backfield, and a gain of 33 yards on first down.
And it's no accident that when the Lions flipped the field, because now they're going in the opposite direction. Now the wind is behind them, and they come right out and throw the football. Good play fake. Shaun Hill gets out of the pocket. A sneaky good athlete, a lot more athletic than you give him credit for. Out in open field for a nice throw.
Both teams playing up-tempo. Javid Best tackled from behind by Koamisi, the rookie from Utah. And Kurt Menefee now with a game break. Let's send it out to Kurt.
Well, they're playing up-tempo in Chicago as well. Bears up 10-0. Jets come back. Sean Green, touchdown. Makes it 10-7 early in the second quarter. Dick and Charles.
And the Bears can nail down one of the top 2 seeds with a victory over the Jets.
Many people thought they didn't have anything to play for since they locked up the division, but a top 2 seed is plenty to play for the Bears.
Second down and 11 from the 36. Here's Hill, and this pass will be caught at the 31 by Calvin Johnson. And a gain of 6. That is his first catch of the game after a brilliant performance against the Bucs last Sunday.
10 catches, 152 yards, almost unguardable at times. The Bucs ran a variety of coverages at him, and he was able to solve all of them. But with the wind in the direction for the Lions, maybe now's a chance to take a shot. Sean Smith shadowing Calvin Johnson at the corner.
Third down and 5. And Hill decides to run it. And Hill gets the first down. And a 10-yard run. That normally is Drew Standen's responsibility at quarterback.
Remember a moment ago I called him a sneaky good athlete? Surprises you with his athleticism. He was a wishbone quarterback in high school. So this guy has the ability to move it with his legs. Had a 40-yard scramble against the Packers earlier this season.
There is Stanton, who led the Lions to their previous 2 wins. And a first down at the 20-yard line. Lions' first conversion on third down today. They're 1 for 4 in that department. And the fake inside handoff. Hill's pass caught for the touchdown to Pettigrew. And the Lions made it look easy on that drive as they take a 9-3 lead.
And open things up. As soon as they had the wind at their back, Scott Linehan decided, let's throw the ball. Fake inside. Easy throw to Brandon Pettigrew. Easily beating down the middle appeared to be Tim Dobbins, number 51, the linebacker.
Dave Rayner on for the extra point. And now the Lions have taken a 10-3 lead. So Pettigrew coming in as the second leading receiver for the Lions. Catches his 4th touchdown pass of the year, 20 yards from Hill. The reaction from Jim Schwartz.
Today's game is sponsored by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. By Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And by GMC. It's the GMC holiday event. Get the job done right this season with a GMC Sierra.
So the Dolphins trailing the Lions 10-3. And the kickoff, Patrick Cobbs in the end zone will keep it there, and he'll take it out at the 20-yard line. That's Dave Rayner's first touchback of the season. Well, coming up next, our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader continues with America's Game of the Week. Giants and Packers at Lambeau Field. Pivotal game for both teams' playoff hopes. Some will see the Seahawks and the Buccaneers. Coverage will begin after our game right here on Fox. A huge game at Lambeau today.
First meeting between these two teams since the NFC Championship game 2007. So important for both of them to absolutely have to have this game.
First down at the 20 for the Dolphins, who trailed by a touchdown. Ronnie Brown, and Cliff Averill brings him down after a gain of about 1.5 yards.
Interesting in this game, Dick, that the play calling really has been dictated by what side of the field you're playing on. In the first quarter, the Dolphins, with the wind at their back, threw the ball considerably. Then the Lions, when they got the wind at their back, went right down the field, just marched it down. And Sean Hill looked very impressive 3-for-3 throwing the football, leading to a touchdown pass to Pettigrew. Will the Dolphins run the ball more now with the wind in their face, or will they continue to try and throw it?
2nd down and 8. Henne is 5 of 8 for 48 yards. Looking to throw, and it's caught. First down, Brandon Marshall, and Vasher will wrestle him out of bounds. So Marshall was free there, and Vasher gave him a lot of yardage in a 14-yard pickup past the 35.
When you're trying to cover Brandon Marshall, trying to cover Calvin Johnson, hard to be real physical with them. Plus, you have to respect their speed. And Marshall gave him the appearance that he was going to take it upfield for a long fade route, broke it off, connected with Henne for a first down.
And Marshall and Bess now have set a team record for tandem receptions in the Long Ridge history. First down, here's Henne's pass, and it's caught by Devon Bess, who goes out of bounds, gets about 5 yards on the play.
The value of having a big arm. That's what you heard about Chad Henne coming out of college. Played in cold weather, grew up in it in Pennsylvania, able to throw, even with the wind in his face now. Dan Henning, the offensive coordinator, counting on his arm to cut through that wind and get the ball to the receivers.
And these last 2 games important for Tony Sperano to see what they have in Henne. Even though they're out of the playoffs. Here's Ronnie Brown cutting out. Have made it as starters with the other players drafted up front since '07.
And Donald Thomas is a backup now for the Detroit Lions. Samson Satelli is the starting center for the Oakland Raiders.
2nd down and 8. Henne caught. Marshall, extra stretch, will give him the first down. Brandon Marshall gives the Dolphins a first down to the 18 with Chris Houston trying to hang on. He'll get 9 yards on that play.
Dick, you alluded to Tony Sperano a little while ago, telling his team there's still plenty to play for. Getting to 9 and 7 is important. Well, we've seen on this drive 2 extra effort plays by players on his team. Ronnie Brown on a run, and on that play, Brandon Marshall extending out for a few extra inches and yards to help his ball club.
Fasano in motion toward the line. Roberto Wallace, the rookie, has come in for Marshall. And here is good protection, and the pass is caught by Fasano. And Fasano will have a first down just by a yard. It'll be 1st and goal for the Dolphins.
This was a well-thrown football because I thought the guy short was open, but the guy deeper might have been covered. And he threw it to a spot that cleared the defender. Watch Fasano break out. See the throw by Henne? That clears Julian Peterson, number 98, before Nathan Vasher can get there.
And Brandon Marshall back in to the bottom of your picture now. 10th play of the drive coming up. 1st and goal at the 6. And a whistle and a penalty, a false start call against the Dolphins.
Number 79. 5-yard penalty remains first down.
So it's Pat McQuiston, the left guard, who replaces Incognito, who moved over to center for this game. 5-yard penalty against Miami.
The Detroit Lions have had issues all year long with penalties. The Dolphins have not, but early in this game, that's been flipped.
First and goal. Now at the 11, here is Ricky Williams. And Williams knocked out of bounds right outside the 5 by Amari Spivey, the rookie strong safety.
And what about the block by Lusaka Polite, the fullback, on the toss sweep? Heard a lot about Vince Lombardi lately. Documentaries, plays, power sweeps. Watch Polite, the fullback. Look at him leading. Just takes out Nathan Vasher, who's trying to set the corner, and opens things up for Ricky Williams for a big bruising run.
2nd down and goal at the 4. Inside to Polite, touchdown Dolphins. And the offensive line, brilliant on that drive by Miami to get back in this game.
You know, all week long, this offensive line of the Dolphins has been challenged. You're going up against a tough defensive front. They don't think you can run the football. And Lusaka Polite, the play before, he was the blocker. Cleared the way for Ricky Williams. Rewarded for a terrific block with an inside handoff. Puts it in the end zone.
And the first touchdown of the year by Polite, and Carpenter ties it with the extra point. So with 6:13 to go in the first half, an impressive drive as the Dolphins finally make it pay off with a touchdown. An impressive 80-yard drive. Chad Henne was perfect, and Lasaka Polite, not only his first rushing touchdown of the year, the first of his career, has one TD catch to his credit. And so the Dolphin fans awaken here in a 10-10 game.
On the last two touchdown drives, Dick, both quarterbacks have been perfect throwing the football. Sean Hill for Detroit and Chad Henne for Miami.
And they're going to have Vontae Davis hold here as Carpenter kicks off. Stephon Logan, who is from Miami, played at Jackson High School here, receives the kick from the 9. Logan, and the former Steeler, is brought back, and a flag goes down at the 25. So we'll sort out the penalty. And good coverage on the play by Nolan Carroll and Jonathan Amaya.
During the return of the kick, holding, receiving team number 25. 10-yard penalty, first down.
And that's Randy Phillips, who was just activated when Matthew Stafford went on injured reserve this week. We'll be back.
Today's game is sponsored by Visa. More people go with Visa.
Lions with their worst starting field position of the game. The 13, handoff to Best. Nowhere to go, and he is put down by Tim Dobbins, starting in place of the injured Carlos Dansby, and a loss of 1. And the Lions, last drive, 80 yards, and as you mentioned, Sean Hill was perfect, 3 for 3 and 59 yards, but 53 of them coming to the tight end Brandon Pettigrew, including the touchdown.
With so much attention paid to Calvin Johnson, all coverages will kick towards him. Other people have to come up and make plays for the Lions. Brandon Pettigrew did on that drive. Second down and 11.
Sean Hill in and out of two players' hands. Johnson after Sean Smith, and time for a game break. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Well, the Jets have come back to score 2 touchdowns in 56 seconds after being down 10-0 to the Bears. Dwight Lowry picks off Jay Cutler, picks it, makes it 14-10 Jets. The Jets win. They're in the playoffs. Dick, Charles.
All right, thank you, Kurt. Or Jacksonville lost, so a big one for the Jets, who can handle it themselves if they win it.
And that interception looked like Jay Cutler earlier this year, not the recent Jay Cutler we've seen.
Third down and 11 now for Sean Hill and the Lions. On the 12, here comes the rush, and down he goes, Chris Clemens, with a safety blitz and the second sack of the game for the Dolphins. Inside the 5, a loss of 8.
And there's Clemens right there, and this is something the Dolphins have not done much of this year, and that's bring their defensive back, save Jeremiah Bell on pressure towards the quarterback. So Chris Clemens lined up on the line of scrimmage, unaccounted for, rushes and puts down Sean Hill.
Tell you, Mike Nolan has dialed up outstanding defenses this year, ranked amongst the best in key categories. Nick Harris punting from his end zone, and Devon Best looking to run it from the 43 into Lion territory. And Best is put down at the 41. Great field position coming up now, and the reaction of Clemens after the key sack. 10-10 the score. Dolphins sitting pretty. American Idol returns with a 2-night season premiere. New judges Steven Tyler and Jennifer Lopez join Randy Jackson and Ryan Seacrest for a new season of extraordinary talent. TV's biggest phenomenon is almost here. American Idol, now on Wednesdays and Thursdays, beginning January 19th on Fox. Best starting position of the game for the Dolphins. The Lion 41. Ricky Williams is the running back. And the first pass slipping was Brandon Marshall, and the pass incomplete, bringing up 2nd and 10.
I like the call. You know why? Because they go single high safeties. We look at the offensive leaders for the Dolphins today. Chad Henne in a nice rhythm early. Ronnie Brown with a good run on the last drive. And Brandon Marshall, he's their target. But I like the play call. one safety in the middle of the field, which means you're getting man-to-man with a safety over the top. Go to your horse. Man-to-man, Brandon Marshall, without a slip, he's got a chance of coming down with it.
2nd down and 10. And out of the backfield is Ricky Williams. And Williams will be stopped 1.5 yards shy of the first down by Julian Peterson. Bobby Carpenter, who played last week for Landon Johnson at outside linebacker and was with the Dolphins for 5 games, is in the lineup there. There is Carpenter. And Carpenter will come out of the game. It'll be 3rd down and short for the Dolphins on the 33 of Detroit. Henny, Ricky Williams appears to have enough for the first down.
I think this is an offense now for the Dolphins that's playing with a lot of confidence, and it's bred by the offensive line having some success now running the football against the Lions defensive front.
And a timeout called by the Lions. That is the first timeout by either team. And you know, it's interesting in this game, Charles, that the wind is a big factor in what the teams do strategy-wise.
Yeah, I think that in the way the wind is going in the first quarter, the Lions were facing the wind. And with the finger, the broken index finger of Sean Hill, they're a little leery about putting the ball in the air. But the Dolphins going against that wind didn't have the same issues. Why? Chad Henne, young, strong, big arm. They felt like that could cut through the wind. So it wasn't a big deal to them to go ahead and try and throw the football. Just the difference is health is a big part of this game as well as the wind.
Dolphins, as you mentioned, offense playing with a lot of confidence here, have a first down. And there is Henne. And Henne is going deep for Brandon Marshall. And the pass incomplete. So far this year, Marshall has caught only 3 touchdown passes.
And part of what the issue is with Brandon Marshall, and it's really not an issue, and look at the protection, able to throw it clean. But Brandon Marshall, his biggest plays, that's a double move, will stop and go with Chris Houston, but he's not a huge blazer, Brandon Marshall. He's a guy who makes big plays, catching the ball short on slants and quick hitches and turning them into big plays by breaking tackles.
The rookie Roberto Wallace is in there along with Kevin Curtis on 2nd and 10 at the 31. And there is Henne falling down, and dropping the ball is Wallace, the rookie from San Diego State, who has been effective on special teams as well. So now it'll be 3rd down and 10.
Incomplete pass, but how about Chad Henne in the pocket? Watch, both legs are wrapped up. This looks like Corey Williams, 99. He's got the ankle, so he can't even step into the throw. That's all arm, and Roberto Wallace needs to catch that football. That's right on it.
And right now, you can't say for sure they're in field goal range the way the wind has been going. They are on the 31 now. It would be a 47-yard attempt, or 48. 3rd down and 10. Marshall back in there, and Henne going to Bess underneath. Here is Devon Bess, and he is brought down. Big play by DeAndre Levy, and a penalty marker is down.
There's a slew of them down. All of a sudden, the air was filled with yellow hankies.
Speaking of Levy, he's going to undergo off-season surgery to repair a groin injury, which has nagged him all year. So he is gamely playing hurt down the stretch.
There are 2 fouls, both against Miami. Holding, offense, number 19. This penalty is declined. Holding, offense, number 79. This penalty is accepted, 10 yards. Repeat, 3rd down.
So another penalty on McQuiston. And that, again, speaks to the shuffling that Tony Sparano has had to do with that offensive line.
McQuiston has had to play 3 different positions already this year in the interior. So he's always moving around trying, okay, am I the left guard, am I the right guard? It's not as easy as it sounds.
Henne has completed 11 of 17 for 108 yards.
Heavy run formation. Hard to believe they're going to run it here, though.
3rd and 8, they're not. And Henne going underneath to Lasaka Polite, and he is tackled 12 yards shy of the first down by Nathan Vasher. So now what do you do here? There's going to be a timeout called, and that by the Lions. It'll be their second with just under 3 minutes remaining in the first half. It'll be 4th down and about 12. While we have a moment, want to remind you that on January 7th, LSU cornerback Patrick Peterson, Texas A&M's defensive sensation Von Miller, consensus All-Americans each lead their respective teams into sold-out Cowboys Stadium for the 75th AT&T Cotton Bowl Classic. Primetime coverage next Friday begins at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on Fox. And my partner Charles Davis will be there as part of that crew. 4th down and 12. And now the Dolphins will call a timeout there first.
Notice they were lining up on offense on 4th down and 12. You had mentioned the havoc the wind is wreaking out there. Not likely to kick the field goal. Wanted to go ahead and line up on offense. Didn't like what they saw, coming in the sidelines to talk it over again. Remember last week, Dan Carpenter was 0 for 4 kicking field goals.
How do you figure out the rapidity of the timeouts, one on each team like that?
I'm trying to get a type on it. I think what happened was Detroit wanted to make sure that they were set in case the Dolphins went for it on 4th down. So they took a timeout. Then the Dolphins came out with the idea of running something on offense. It didn't quite feel right. Maybe they didn't have the personnel in that they wanted. They take the timeout. Now they're going to go ahead and punt the football away.
So they're going to kick it away. As you mentioned, Brandon Fields comes on here. And Stephon Logan is back at about the 7.
And he needs to communicate well with his guys, because if this ball goes up in the air and knuckles around, make sure it doesn't hit a Detroit Lion and turn into a play for Miami.
And the ball will be into the end zone, and it's hit out. And if no Dolphin had his foot in the end zone, it's a great save by Roberto Wallace. And we've talked about how outstanding his special teams play has been for the rookie, and he saves it at about the 2-yard line.
And Stephon Logan did the right thing. You let the ball go when it's over your head inside the 10-yard line, but you've got to hold up the guys going downfield. I get the sense that they got a pretty easy release downfield in order to be there and make that save. Well done by Roberto Wallace.
And he had to do a little acrobatic work to make sure his feet did not touch the line, and he stayed up. So 2:48 to go. Lions have 1 timeout left. The Dolphins 2. Maurice Morris with 2 tight ends is the setback. First down from the 2. Here's Morris. And Morris picking up 1.5 yards. Tim Dobbins is right there. And clock continues to run. Nearly 2.5 minutes remain in the half of a tie game. They're the offensive leaders. Sean Hill is not thrown for much. Don't forget he has that broken right index finger. And not much for the Lions offense all the way around. Second and 8. Morris, and he is tackled from behind by Paul Soliai, and it'll be 3rd and long as we wind down to the 2-minute warning here in Miami, with the Dolphins and Lions all tied at 10.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Windows 7.
Well, Charles, during the 2-minute warning, got a little crowded in the end zone.
The show must go on. How about the adjustment by the cheerleaders in the dance squad, changing their lines to work around the Lions huddle.
3rd down and 8. Javid Best, the running back, out to the top as a receiver. Dolphins still have 2 timeouts remaining. Sean Hill from the end zone, incomplete. Scheffler was the intended receiver. So plenty of time, 1:55 and 2 timeouts, and the Dolphins could be looking again at good field position.
And Tony Scheffler, the ball was put on him pretty well. It almost looked like he had a split focus. That he was looking for ball with one eye, defender with the other eye. Lions fortunate that ball doesn't get popped up into the air and turned into an interception.
Devon Best at his own 45, and Nick Harris will be punting from the back of his end zone. Best backing up to the 35. Devon Bess into Lion territory. And Bess getting to the 40-yard line where Felton brings him down. So the Dolphins, for the second straight series, will have the ball in Lion territory.
Set up well by the punt return. Harris hits it, but he hits it so far. Lion defenders having a tough time covering all that ground. The Dolphins set up in great field position again, heading towards the end of the half.
That was a 26-yard punt return and a first down at the 40. Marlon Moore has replaced Devon Bess, who may have been shaken up as he left the field. Dolphins still with 2 timeouts remaining, 10-10 the score. Empty backfield. Henne on first down completes it to Marshall.
And there's no doubt in my mind right now that Dan Henning, the offensive coordinator, has Brandon Marshall in capital letters on his play sheet. Underlined 3 or 4 times. They're going to feed him as much as possible today.
And the hurry up. Marshall with 5 catches for 57 yards and a first down. And this pass caught again, this by the rookie Marlon Moore. And Moore does not get out of bounds, and the clock continues to run, and Chris Houston, the cornerback, is injured on the field for Detroit. Now they stop the clock at 1:03. And by rule, inside of 2 minutes, it is a charge timeout to the Lions, who are out of timeouts.
See Houston on the coverage. It happened after he made the tackle. I don't know if his shoulder might have gotten yanked. Watch as he makes the tackle. And then there was a spike over the top of his face mask. See him reach up his hand. Might have gotten stepped on. Chris Houston making the tackle on Marlon Moore, and Moore's cleat catches him in the face and neck area as he makes the tackle. He's out of the game. Ty Hill in.
And Devon Bess was in and out. Second down and 5 with 1:03 to go. Still 2 timeouts for the Dolphins. Pressure picked up well. Henne being chased from behind. Takes off, gets a first down and slides outside the 10. And under a minute remaining, a 10-yard run by Chad Henne. And the Dolphins lying up in a hurry-up. Bess is back in there trying to score before intermission.
A lot of late substitutions by the Lions trying to match the
first
personnel.
down on the 14. And this pass is tipped. Bess has it. Touchdown, Miami. Looked like Ty Hill got a hand on it, but Devon Bess grabbed it and scores the touchdown to give the Dolphins the lead.
Ty Hill, as you mentioned, Dick, falls into coverage and gets both hands on the football, but it goes through him. And nice concentration by Devon Bess, but here's the question. Was his foot out of bounds before he makes the catch and comes back in? Look, right there. Is that foot out of bounds before he's back in play to make the catch?
It would be a booth review to see whether he is in bounds.
Take a look again.
Ball is still in the air.
Howard.
It looks like he's got both feet in the end zone.
Once again, did the foot go out first before he touched the football? Right there would be the determination. Did it or did it not? And as you mentioned, Dick, that's a booth review.
And if he was out of bounds, he can't be the first one in to make the catch or touch the ball. So a critical booth review here. 30 seconds to go. Coming up, the Visa halftime report. We'll have all the scores and highlights from the gang in LA. Kurt Menefee, Terry Bradshaw, Howie Long, Michael Strahan, and Jimmy Johnson. The 49ers are leading the Rams in their NFC West showdown. 14-12 is the score out there, and somehow the Niners don't get killed off.
You know, it's funny, we talked with the Lions earlier this year, and they said that their defense, they felt like a cartoon character. No matter what you do to us, you can't kill us off. Those are the San Francisco 49ers this year. You can't kill them off. Once again, is that foot right there, is that out of bounds? That'll have to be determined by the booth. Hard to truly say there, right in front of the pylon, because if the foot is out of bounds, which I think the answer is yes, all right? Let's take a look again, all right? I think that the foot's out of bounds because that, to me, is contacting the white portion on the sideline. So, to me, he's out of bounds before he comes back in here to make this catch.
And here comes Tony Correnti.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field will stand. Touchdown.
So indisputable visual evidence may have played a role in the fact that that was not overturned, and Chad Henne and the Dolphins delighted as they take a 16-10 lead with a half a minute to go.
So you nailed it, Dick. It has to be indisputable visual evidence, not just your determination, my determination. So on the sidelines, they could not truly overturn the touchdown.
It was a close one. Here is Carpenter with the extra point. And the Dolphins leading now 17-10 with 30 seconds remaining. Devon Bess, who had the return on the punt. And Miami having to go only 40 yards for the touchdown. And once again, Henne, 3 for 3. He was perfect at 5 and 5 on the previous scoring drive.
And don't think for a second he doesn't understand the stakes right now for his career and what's going on with the Dolphins. And Chad Henne in the first half giving the Dolphins plenty of confidence about their moving forward with him.
You know, you played the game. I'm amazed at people saying a meaningless game. I mean, you sign a contract to play a 16-game schedule, and it doesn't say you only play until you're eliminated from the playoffs. Then it doesn't matter. These guys work all week. They come to practice. They study film. What for? To try to go out and win a football game.
Herb Edwards. That's exactly right. You play to win the game. But as well as that, you're also playing for your future, because people are going to evaluate what you do in games that are so-called meaningless. If you're going to mail it in, guess what? You won't be around the next season.
Houston, who had his face stepped on, is leaving the field as we're almost ready for halftime. The punt return by Bess was 25 yards, and he caught the 13-yard touchdown pass. And here is Logan, who muffs the ball, and the Lions cover up at the 25. And that was Vinny Churchu, who avoided a critical Detroit mistake. And the Lions will take over on the 25.
The wind you've talked about, Dick, I think played a hand in that one, because Logan thought it was coming down in one spot, not able to get there and secure the catch. Churchu saves him on that play, because otherwise the Dolphins take over with one more shot at the end zone going into the half.
First down from the 25, and the handoff is to Javid Best. And Best brings it out to the 37. Channing Crowder making the tackle, a 7-yard gain. Lions out of timeouts. The Visa halftime report coming up in this critical week 16 of activity. And that'll do it. The final seconds ticked off. So the Dolphins taking their first lead on the touchdown pass from Henne to Best. 17-7, Miami leading Detroit at the half. We're getting set for the start of the third quarter with the Dolphins in front of the Lions, 17-10. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Take a look at the halftime statistics. Dolphins now outgaining the Lions in rushing and passing, and a huge edge in total yards. And this for an offense that really hasn't managed much this year. And Charles, the Miami Dolphins, because they won the toss and deferred, will get the ball to start the second half.
They have to like that. If they're the Miami Dolphins, they have to think that's a good thing, because the disparity in yardage came in the second quarter. Chad Henne played a really nice first half. So at the top of the game, we posed the question, what are the Dolphins have to find out what they have in Chad Henne. Is he their franchise guy? The first half says there's reason to keep working with it.
You know, it's been very impressive because that great foursome, that defensive line for the Lions, have not really affected. The offensive line of Miami's done a good job.
They've done a really nice job, especially in the second quarter, running the ball. But I thought that Dan Henning did a nice job in the first quarter, coming out no huddle, running them a lot of pass plays, which means they had to rush the passer, a lot of screens, which means they had to chase things down, try to tire them out a little bit and open things up, and it did in the second quarter.
And as you mentioned, Chad Henne, these are two important games for him, and he performed admirably in the first half of this one.
We're not sending him to Canton just based on the first half. But what the Dolphins are doing in terms of evaluation, they have to like what they've seen. The poise of him, how he directed the team in a 2-minute offense, what they did in the second quarter, running the ball, throwing the ball, his accuracy. You have to like that out of Chad Henne in the first half.
And, you know, he can go to Canton to visit the Hall of Fame. It's a great thing to visit. It doesn't mean he's going to be inducted into it.
And
right?
I'm not sure that they give you a free ticket just because you're in the NFL, but you probably can get at least half price off.
All right, there you have it. Visit Canton, Ohio, and the Pro Football Hall of Fame as Henne gets set to go. And, of course, we mentioned the fact that the Dolphins, next to the Panthers, have the worst scoring in the NFL, averaging 17 points a game. They have 17 already. And, of course, the milestone achieved in the first half by Brandon Marshall and Devon Best. They needed 3 catches to set a club record, as you see Shaun Hill's numbers, and they have them. And they broke the record of 2 great receivers who are on the receiving end of Dan Marino's passes over the year, Michael Clayton and Mark Duper. Clayton and Duper in 1984, and Mark Clayton and Jim Jensen again in 1988. So there's the 2 marks, Clayton and Duper, and right now Marshall and Best have surpassed that as the best duo receivers in Dolphin history.
And very smartly done by the Dolphins in their ring of fame there, having Dan Marino flanked by the Marks brothers. Mark Clayton, Mark Duper, all the success and fame they had together.
Want to remind you that next week, January 7th, Patrick Peterson, the LSU cornerback, and Von Miller, Texas A&M's defensive sensation, both consensus All-Americans, lead their respective teams into sold-out Cowboy stadiums for the 75th AT&T Cotton Bowl Classic. Primetime coverage next Friday begins at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Fox. Well, field goals marked the first quarter of this game. It was 3-3, and then Shaun Hill hit Brandon Pettigrew with a 20-yard TD pass to give the Lions a touchdown lead. Lusaka Polite capped an 80-yard drive with a 4-yard run, and then Henne hitting Bess with 30 seconds remaining in the half, and that's been the difference.
And for Chad Henne in this second half, he has to show more steps towards the consistency that they desire from him at the quarterback position. I talked with someone before the game close to this Dolphins organization, and they said he seduced us and he's teased us all year long. He'll have quarters where he'll be terrific, halves where he'll be terrific, and then the wheels fall off and we don't see that the rest of the way. They need 4 quarters worth out of Chad Henne today.
Nolan Carroll going back deep, and Dave Rayner kicking off. Carroll from the 11. And the rookie from Maryland is upended shy of the 30-yard line by Ashley Palmer, who forced a fumble early in the game that resulted in a field goal.
He's had a nice day on special teams, not afraid to throw his body around. He's got that size and speed ratio that Jim Schwartz is looking for. A big man who can run and delivers impact when he gets there.
So the Lions, who have not won back-to-back road games in 6 years, looking for their 3rd in a row. They haven't done that since '04. Defending against Miami, Ricky Williams starting the second half at running back and gets a good carry, about 7 yards, as we check in with Laura Oakman.
Thanks, Dick. Wind definitely a factor. Both coaches saying it's going to play into their decision-making going into the second half. But Tony Sparano a little bit baffled, saying for some reason Chad Henne doesn't seem to be affected by it. So we said, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. He's going right through it. He said the big thing, be aggressive. He told his guys in the locker room, go out and win the second half, win this game. It's worth it.
And here is Williams again, churning for the first down, and may have it. Needed to get to the 39.5-yard line.
Laura just mentioned it's worth it. You talked about that in the first half, Dick, about what these coaches tell their players. We're not going to the playoffs, but both of them have something to play for. The Lions trying to get a winning streak going on the road. The Dolphins trying to get to 9-7 and finish the season with a winning record. That way you don't finish the season feeling like, boy, nothing went right for us at all. It is worth it.
From the 40, first down, out of the shotgun is Henne. Hands off to Ricky Williams and can't break the tackle of Carpenter. And he picks up 4 yards. Dolphins leading 17-10. The only win the Miami Dolphins have at home this year is a victory over the Tennessee Titans. 29-17 in mid-November. In that game, Chad Pennington started, got hurt. Then Chad Henne came in, and it was Tyler Thigpen who finished. They're the leaders for the Dolphins offensively. 2nd and 6. The quick is out to Best. Spinning away, but can't get away from Carpenter again. And picks up 1 yard, bringing up 3rd down and about 4.5.
When you are a great player, you do more than what is expected of you. Watching Ndamukong Suh finish this play. Nice job by Carpenter turning it inside. But who's that out there making the initial hit before Carpenter finishes it off with DeAndre Levy? That's Ndamukong Suh coming from his defensive tackle position, rushing the passer, and then going back to make a play downfield.
Chris Houston with a shoulder injury. Doubtful he'll be back. Remember, we saw him take a foot in the face. Ty Hill had replaced him. And here comes the pressure on Henne, and off the hands of Brandon Marshall, incomplete. Bringing up 4th down, and Miami will have to kick.
That's one that just has to be completed. That ball's right there on first blush. It's a nice throw by Chad Henne, and it would have been one that probably kept the chains moving.
There have been a lot of drops this year by Brandon Marshall, more than he has known and in his recent years. So Logan goes back, and Fields will be kicking. Fair catch called for by Logan at the 13. So the Lions will get their hands on the ball for the first time in the second half when we return.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. By UPS. Let UPS put the power of logistics to work for you. And by Volkswagen.
Lions will start from the 14. Rashad Jones, the rookie, at free safety right now for Miami, replacing Clemens. First down, and the handoff to Maurice Morris, and Morris picks up 5.
This is the end of the field where Detroit was conservative in the first half. Ran the ball more than they threw it. At the half, Laura talked about how coaches are making decisions based on the wind. That's going to affect their decision making. We'll see if the Lions continue to be conservative with a quarterback has a broken right index finger trying to throw into the wind.
Longest play was the pass to Pettigrew for 33 yards. And there is the fake end around. Hill under pressure and has Morris out of the backfield. First down for Maurice Morris as he churns it out to the 27. Cameron Wake making the tackle.
Looked like a screen pass the whole way, Dick. And the timing got messed up by the Dolphins defensive rush. And Sean Hill had to move around in order to keep the play alive and then flick it out there to Morris. There's Drew Stanton on the sidelines, and while Lion fans wondering why he's over there. Separated his left shoulder in the last game. Wasn't healthy enough to take the majority of snaps this week. Sean Hill got the start.
Morris. And he is upended by Vontae Davis after a gain of 4 yards. And of course this week Matthew Stafford was put on injured reserve He's had the separated shoulder in his throwing arm, and of course Jim Schwartz had hoped that perhaps he could play that final game of the year. So here's a team that's had injuries to all three quarterbacks on the team, and yet have won 3 in a row now. Trailing here 17-10. 17-10 is the score. Javid Best is a receiver to the right. Hill in trouble. And the pass incomplete. It was Tim Dobbins putting the pressure on Hill, and both of these teams.
Ben is new markets. Ben is global access, China and beyond. Ben is a smarter supply chain. Ben is higher margins. Happier customers, everybody wins.
Logistics.
Exactly.
See you guys tomorrow.
Okay, so we've got Jen texting. Cody's sticking an action figure into Hunter's ear. And Joe, what are you doing?
Trying to get the action figure out of Hunter's ear.
To the cloud. Now I can take all these unruly shots and swap in some smiles. Finally, a photo I can share without ridicule. Windows gives me the family nature never could.
To the cloud with Windows Live to create and share anywhere.
Welcome to NFL Network's playoff coverage. We have plenty to talk about as the race to the Super Bowl leads.
The NFL Draft is officially open.
Here are my NFL.com fantasy projections for 2011. Adrian Peterson's one of my top running backs.
This is NFL Red Zone, where you get every touchdown from every game. Touchdown!
Get the NFL. Anytime, anywhere.
I'm feeling wings, though I never flown. I'm flesh and blood to the bone.
That was beautiful. 100% yes. You are going to Hollywood.
Tony Sparano challenging the ruling on the field.
The ruling on the field will stand as a completed pass. Miami will be charged with their first timeout.
Why would you waste a timeout on a play in which Tony Correnti took seconds to make that decision? Why challenge there?
I'm really not sure, because if I'm Tony Sparano and you have someone upstairs who's responsible for helping you with this about challenges, what you have to hear in your headset is, Coach, there's no doubt in my mind that he stepped out of bounds. There's no way you could say that any more than Devon Best's was conclusive.
Stephon Logan now moving to the backfield, gets the pitch from Hill, and hemmed in and brought down by Tim Dobbins. Good lateral pursuit by the Dolphins defense, and a loss of about 1.5 yards.
Tim Dobbins continues to play well, whether he's filling in for Channing Crowder as he did earlier this year, or today for Carlos Dansby out with an injured toe.
And you look at the Lions leaders, and nothing much to brag about, and that's a credit to Mike Nolan, the defensive coordinator to the Dolphins upstairs. Second down and 11 on the 46. 4 receivers line up for Sean Hill, and this one is caught by Calvin Johnson, and a first down at the 43 of the Dolphins. Culver covering, and a 12-yard game for the Lions.
Calvin Johnson makes his quarterbacks' statistics better than what they should be. This ball's behind him, into traffic, and he still makes the catch after the tackle by Culver.
Hurry up for the Lions. They're on the 42 of Miami. Handoff to Javid Best. And Best is brought down by Tony McDaniel, who has had a fine year at the 39. So a 3-yard gain for the rookie.
Just remember, as Calvin Johnson makes his push towards his first Pro Bowl berth, if he gets in, he will have done it with 3 different quarterbacks throwing him the football this year.
Better days ahead for Calvin Johnson and that entire Lion team, it appears. Second down and 7. Here's Best. Javid Best, and Tim Dobbins once again, and the Cameron Wake making the play from behind. And 3 yards. The Detroit Lions will have their 11th straight year without making the playoffs, but they've got a gem in Calvin Johnson, who is second in touchdown receptions since 2008. 6th in receiving yards, and 4th with the big plays. 3rd and 3.
They haven't gone back to Pettigrew since that big drive in the first half at tight end. Should be a good spot to look for him.
Here's Hill. Hill lofts it, and it's caught by Calvin Johnson, with Bell making the tackle at the 17, a first down after the gain of 19. No question they're going to Calvin Johnson on this drive.
And you've got a chance now. If you're the Dolphins, you know that Calvin Johnson's that guy. So what did the Lions do? They mixed things up and brought him inside to the slot position, worked him into the traffic against the linebackers, and picked up the first down.
3 catches for 46 yards on this drive, and the handoff to Maurice Morris coming into the game. And he gets inside the 15. Koamisi, the rookie from Utah, making the play, another 3-yard gain.
Dick, you were just mentioning a moment ago about the Lions. You see better days ahead for them. I've marinated on that for a moment, and I think I understand where you're coming from. You get Matthew Stafford back at quarterback, Calvin Johnson at wide receiver, and a defense is getting better with each passing week.
12th play of the drive. It'll be 2nd and 6. Dropping it is Brandon Pettigrew. So 3rd down and 6 coming up for the Lions, who trail by 7 with 6:23 to go here in the 3rd.
The one bug in the system in Brandon Pettigrew's game are drops. He's had a number of them throughout the season, some key ones at times, and then he'll come back and make a big catch for you. But one of the better combo tight ends you're going to find in the league, even though he's only a second-year guy, can block and catch.
You come back to him?
Why not? He has shown the ability to come back and make plays after drops.
3rd down and 6. Hill drills it, caught by Brian Johnson, and the first catch of the day for Johnson. And the Lions will have a 1st and goal at the 5. An 8-yard pickup, and Sean Hill pecking away at this Dolphin defense on this drive.
And they're going to go ahead and go quick on this one. Brian Johnson working inside. Calvin Johnson draws the double team. See the 2 guys respecting him? Johnson comes up open underneath.
1st and goal, and here is Maurice Morris driving toward the goal line. Touchdown, Detroit. Maurice Morris with a 5-yard run.
And he got a great block. Watch Jeff Backus, the tackle. He just controls Cameron Wake, number 91, on the edge. You need Wake to set the edge, unable to do so. Once he controls it right here, there's all your room. And then up top, Bryant Johnson, number 80, also helped out.
Here is Rayner with the extra point and ties the game in a long drive, and a flag is down right at the 5-yard line. Maurice Morris with his 4th touchdown rushing of the season after a big 100-yard gain last week and a touchdown.
Offside. Defense number 27 was in the neutral zone at the snap. Detroit has opted to take his 5-yard penalty on the kickoff. The extra point is good.
They'll take the 5 yards on the kick as the Lions fight back to tie it up.
Brandy Phillips, great job getting in there, stripping the ball, and look at where it is. It's right underneath him. He has a chance to actually recover this. But once the scrum emerges and everyone gets there, who knows how many times the ball exchanged hands and the Dolphins come up with it.
Jonathan Amaya made the recovery. 1st down. Chad Henne in a tie game, stepping up out of the pocket. And down he goes, and Damakong Suh applies the exclamation point. That is only the 2nd sack for the Lions after McBride put the pressure on initially.
You nailed it, partner. Turk McBride coming right at you, number 75, working against Jake Long, the Pro Bowl tackle. He makes Chad Henne step up right into the waiting arms of Ndamukong Suh for his 2nd sack of the ball game, but give credit to Turk McBride for forcing it.
So the offensive line of the Dolphins have done a really good job. Only 2 sacks for a team that was 4th in the league coming in. It'll be 2nd down and 13. Back on the 28. Henne And the pass to Devon Bess, and it is a catch. And right now, for a game break, let's check in with Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
A New England win at Buffalo, and they clinch home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs. Tom Brady doing his part. 3 touchdown passes in the game. 34 on the year versus only 4 picks. He's also had 310 consecutive passes without an interception. Can you say MVP, Dick Charles?
Home, away, bad weather, doesn't matter to this Patriot Express.
And how about the way they've reshaped their offense from the time Randy Moss left, from long ball to small ball, and they continue to march on.
3rd down and 6. Henny looking for the receiver, and he finds Ronnie Brown for a first down out of the backfield. And Brown hit by Ty Hill, but not before an 8-yard pickup and a first down to the 43.
And I thought a pretty nifty catch by Ronnie Brown. That ball was thrown to the back part of his body while he was moving away. Made the catch and continued upfield for the first down.
Laura Oakman with us as well down on the sideline as the Lions looking for their 3rd in a row, and the Dolphins trying to win their 2nd home game of the year. And there's movement on the left side of the line.
False
Pat
start.
McQuiston.
Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
So McQuiston called for his 3rd penalty of the game.
Corey Williams is right over the top of him, number 99, and he's given him trouble all game long. Corey Williams very difficult to block and move. McQuiston jumping like a cat at any little movement by Corey Williams, and that's the 2nd time he's caught him today, moving quickly.
Now it's 1st and 15. Henny on a slant, and it's caught by Brandon Marshall, and Marshall getting to the 49, just shy of midfield, and about 5 yards short of a first down.
Is that the same guy that has double-digit drops on the season that we saw drop one on 3rd and 5 that would have been a first down the last drive? That catch makes you wonder how he drops any. Perfectly done by a wide receiver, snatching it out of the air and moving it upfield.
2nd down and 6. And movement in the line, and the penalty. And it will be offsides apparently against
encroachment
Detroit.
Defense, number 99, unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
How about Tom Brady has thrown 311 consecutive passes without an interception, breaking Bernie Kosar's record of 308. That's amazing.
Especially when you consider what you said before, the type of weather he's played in recent games. And how about the 2 guys now, 1 and 2 on the record? New England, not exactly a warm weather site. Cleveland, definitely not a warm weather site, where Kosar set the record.
2nd down and 1, and here's Ronnie Brown. And Brown appears to be shy of the first down by a short amount. DeAndre Levy closing the gap in on Brown with under 2.5 to play in the 3rd.
And Dick, the 3rd guy on the list now at 294 straight without an interception, Bart Starr, Green Bay. Cold weather, definitely.
And we go back to that Lombardi show that we saw on Broadway. Bart Starr, the quarterback in those great days. 3rd down and 1, and the handoff to Polite, and Lusaka Polite with a first down to the 45. That's what he's done all game today. He's gotten the key, 3rd and short yards, and one time on 4th down.
You kind of know it's coming, but there's that slight hesitancy if you're a defense. You know why? You're wondering when they're going to fake it to him and try and get something big downfield, especially with that type of field position the Dolphins had there. Instead, they hand it off. Polite picks up another first down on 3rd and short.
We've had some long drives by both teams in this game. First down, and the end around to Marlon Moore. Marlon Moore with speed stumbles forward, and they're going to mark it out at the 19-yard line. Another first down and a 16-yard play for the Dolphins.
If Turk McBride does not trip him at all, I think that play could really break big. The defensive end for the Lions, McBride hustling right there. He got just enough of him to make him stumble and go off balance right there. If he doesn't make that play, look at that. He's got blocker out in front, someone ready to clean up. That could break big.
From the 29, first down, Ricky Williams checks in at running back for Miami with two tight ends. Henne with protection up the middle, and it's caught by Mickey Schuler, and the rookie tight end is down at the 1. Mickey Schuler, whose dad played in the NFL to success out of Penn State, a big 28-yard play.
He's going to get right into the seam and run up there, run up in the middle of it, and a well-thrown ball by Henne getting it to him. Welcome, Mickey Schuler. You now have your first catch for the Miami Dolphins.
And just short of the touchdown, they're on the 1-yard line. Ray Finga is an eligible tight end, number 69. You see on the left, and the handoff is to Ronnie Brown. Brown, second effort to the goal line. No sign yet. And his touchdown call. Touchdown as Brown gets over. Talk about power blocking at the goal line for the Dolphins as they regain the lead.
The blocking was nice, but the determined running was better. You always hear about yards after contact. Ronnie Brown met in the backfield, takes 2 hits, a third hit, and extends the ball across the goal line as he goes down. Look, hit, watch him turn, ball over the goal line.
And the extra point is good. Ashley Palmer provided the initial hit. Brown wouldn't go down. Henne says touchdown. It is. It's 24-17. It has been a seesaw game since the first quarter, and with 5 seconds to go in the quarter, it's 24-17. And the kickoff into the end zone, and Logan will down it there. And the Lions will start at the 20. Let's take a look at some impressive touchdown drives for the Dolphins. Over 6 minutes time of possession for the first. 1:12 when they had the ball at the Lion 40, and 5:44. And the Lions have had scoring drives of 80 and 86 yards themselves. First down at the 20. Maurice Morris is knocked back by Paul Soliai for a loss as the quarter comes to an end. It's the end of the third. The Dolphins 24 and the Lions 17. And Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a break from your local Fox station.
You are watching NFL Sunday Ticket.
We've got the playoffs covered on NFL Network. Start each game day with NFL Game Day Morning. Total Access brings you live updates from every team, every day.
Where else would you want to be?
Break down the game film with our experts on Playbook. And every postseason game is enhanced with NFL Replay.
It's time to do what we do.
No one covers the playoffs like NFL Network.
We got you covered.
I'm coming. I got receiver. Let's go strong right, man. All right, here we go, man.
See the game through the eyes of a player.
Let's go, Eagles. What we play for right here.
Hear the game
See in this thing, boy.
like you were down on the field.
We still got to show them on Sunday. Go to the middle of the field.
Get your field facts with NFL Replay and sound effects. Tuesday and Wednesday starting at 8, only on NFL Network.
How about this one?
Not big enough.
This one.
Still not big enough.
What's the biggest one here?
Let's be honest. No one ever wished for a smaller holiday gift. It's the Lexus December to Remember sales event. And for a limited time, we're celebrating some of our greatest offers of the year. See your Lexus dealer.
We begin the fourth quarter. Dick Stockton along with Charles Davis and Laura Oakman. The Dolphins leading 24-17. They have alternated wins and losses for the last 10 weeks. And after losing to Buffalo last week to knock them out of the playoffs, the Dolphins hoping that the trend continues. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Lions on the 20. Sean Hill's pass, and it looked like it was interceptable, if there's a word, by Sean Smith. Incomplete. 3rd and 10.
Sean Smith or Chris Clemens reminded me of the play we saw last night. Arizona and Dallas. The last touchdown pass to Miles Austin. 2 guys had a chance to intercept it. No one got it. Miles Austin scored a touchdown. On this play, 2 Dolphins missed it. Fortunately, Calvin Johnson not able to come up with it for the Dolphins.
You know, Charles, it looked like either a knuckleball or a sinker.
Either way, a strike at the knees.
Either way, it was incomplete. 3rd down and 10. Hill going underneath, unable to hold on, was Pettigrew and nearly picked off by the Dolphins. And 4th down coming up, and Detroit will have to kick. What an NFC West season it's been with losing teams, as St. Louis and Seattle tied for first, but the Rams lead the 49ers 15-4 with about 3 to go in the 3rd. If the 49ers lose, they'll be eliminated.
15-14 game, 1 point now for the Rams up at home.
Nick Harris. Devon Bess muffs it and dives to the 39 or the 41, and Miami will take over, having scored the last time they had the ball. Wind playing havoc today.
Today's game is sponsored by the Ford F-150 and its 4 new engines. This is the future of truck. By Brown Shavers. Brown, wear your face. And by Resident Evil Afterlife on Blu-ray and DVD December 28th. Also on digital download.
The Dolphins will start from the 38 as Sean Hill takes a breather. Dolphins leading by 7, and the handoff to Ricky Williams, and Williams gains about 4 yards. And for a game break, here's Kurt Menefee.
I'm sure everyone predicted this. The Jets and Bears in a shootout at Soldier Field. Jay Cutler's 3rd touchdown pass of the 2nd half. 26 yards to Johnny Knox. Cutler's also run for 1. It's 38-31, and they're still in the 3rd quarter. Yeah, Dick and Charles, just what you expect from 2 of the top defenses, right?
Right, Kurt. As you see, the Jets can nail down the playoff berth with a victory, and the Bears can clinch one of the top 2 seeds, the 2nd seed, if they win. 2nd down and 5, and Ricky Williams outside is about 1.5 yards shy of the 1st down, thanks to Ndamukong Suh. He gets 4 yards. Giants, Packers. Last time the Giants and Packers battled, Corey Webster intercepts Brett Favre to set this up.
The kick is good, and the Giants are going to the Super Bowl.
And America's game of the week, Giants at Packers, and so much riding on it coming up after this one.
For the Packers, it's truly a win or you're out scenario in this game.
And we'll take a break. An injured player on the field is Leiden Murtha, the right tackle for the Dolphins. That's right tackle Leiden Murtha, who's hurting out of the game. So Joe Berger is now the center. Richie Incognito moves to left guard, and Pat McQuiston takes Murtha's place at right tackle. 3rd down and 1. And Penny to throw on 3rd and 1, and he completes it to Brandon Marshall. And Marshall with a 1st down to the 44-yard line. An 11-yard pickup, and the Dolphins continue on offense early here in the 4th, leading by 7.
Brandon Marshall does such a nice job, and this is the 2nd time in my memory that he's got Nathan Vasher to feel like it's an up route, a go route, then he just comes back for the football with about 5 yards of separation.
And Mickey Schuler, who caught a 28-yard pass, is now the tight end as the handoff is to Ricky Williams. And he is tackled by Corey Williams as Anthony Fasano, shaken up, has not been in the lineup at tight end for the Dolphins, and the rookie Schuler has taken over. There's Fasano.
Get the distinct feeling, Dick, that this is a monster drive for the Lions on defense. Can't afford to give up a touchdown here in a game that's been this tight all the way through.
Wildcat right now for the Dolphins. The first time they've used it. Ronnie Brown handing off to Ricky Williams, and Williams breaks a tackle. Ricky Williams inside the 20 is tackled inside the 15. And a flag is down at the end of the play.
It usually bodes well for the offense at the end of the play rather than in the backfield. Backfield is usually a holding call against the offense.
Personal foul, defense number 94 with the horse collar tackle. This penalty being assessed half the distance to the goal.
Exactly what it is by Lawrence Jackson.
Always remember this about the Wildcat. It sounds like a finesse formation. Most people, when they're running Wildcat, and there's the horse collar at the end by Lawrence Jackson, 94 on Ricky Williams, it is a power running formation. And Ricky Williams showed us that in breaking a couple of tackles early before getting it downfield for a big first down.
And if you get in the jersey, it's like getting in the shoulder pads for the horse collar. It'll be 1st and goal at the 7. Here is Ronnie Brown running, and Brown is down to the 2, and another flag is down back at the 12-yard line.
And that one's in the backfield, Dick. That throw from the umpire.
Holding, offense number 77, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
And Jake Long, the left tackle, who has played with a shoulder harness this year because of an injury.
There's Jake Long, 2-time Pro Bowl tackle, working against Lawrence Jackson, 94, controlling him on the line of scrimmage. That's a tough one for me. Seeing it from that angle, difficult to say that that's a hold, especially as he's got both. Well, you see he's got grab in the jersey, but typically, if you've got both hands inside and not getting them wide out on the shoulder pads, they tend to let you go on that.
Definite hold there. It looked from here. 1st and goal from the 17, and Ronnie Brown is tackled from behind by Corey Williams, and he picks up 3 yards. Still early in this 4th quarter. Dick Stockton along with Charles Davis and Laura Oakman. And it'll be 2nd down and goal. The ball now at the 14. And as you mentioned moments ago, a critical offensive sequence for Miami.
And I think for Chad Henne and the continued development of him as a quarterback, a big throw here will go a long way for him solidifying this position.
Here's Henne, and incomplete to Lex Hilliard. And 3rd down and goal.
This is not the throw they had in mind. They ended up checking it down. He wanted to push it downfield, ended up checking it down, and he's really shortened to the outside and is well defended by Nathan Basher.
Henne 21 of 29 for 209 yards and a score. Ronnie Brown has gained 28, not much of a rushing attack, and Brandon Marshall 7 for 76.
You got Marshall out wide and Bess in the slot.
Ronnie Brown runs into a wall, and Brown is down at the 10-yard line, and the crowd critical of the calls, I guess, here. And a 4-yard gain will bring Dan Carpenter onto the field to try to extend the Dolphin lead to 10.
And I get what Tony Sperano and Dan Henning are thinking, trying to get this lead up to 10 with 10 minutes to go. Points haven't exactly been easy to come by today, but I would have liked to have seen them press it downfield. Help Chad Henne develop as a quarterback by making a big throw in a key situation.
28-yard attempt for Carpenter. And the kick is good. A 10-point lead for the Dolphins here in the 4th. It's like Sean Hill is still frustrated over that last play when Pettigrew didn't get there, but the Dolphins with a 10-point lead. 1st down with 7.5 to go. 2 tight ends. Ronnie Brown is in the game. And Ronnie Brown maybe a yard. Well, this is Coach Sperano, and if you looked at him, you would never know they're 7-7 and out of the playoffs, Charles.
And this team has followed him the whole way. One thing you can say about the Dolphins, while it's been a frustrating season, you never talk about this team in terms of having given up or not given max effort in their ball games.
And that's what you judge the coach on if there are any questions about him. Under 7 minutes to go in the fourth. 2nd and 9. Henne, and nearly picked off by Nathan Vasher on the pass intended for Marshall. That could have been disaster.
Marshall's done a nice job working Vasher all day. This time, Vasher does a better job because he does what we call cluing into the quarterback. He's got outside leverage. That means he can see the quarterback and the receiver. And when the quarterback hits his drop step and sets to throw the football, Vasher drove on it and almost had a pick six for a big play for Detroit.
Jumping the route there was Vasher, if only what might have been, but now it's 3rd and 9. Henne with a designed rollout, and on the run, completes it to Brandon Marshall, and Marshall will have a first down. A big 3rd down play by the Dolphins will move the chains out to the 21.
Frankly, this is back-to-back questionable throws by Chad Henne, and Brandon Marshall bails him out on this one because this is a ball that really should have been knocked away at the least by Ty Hill. But Brandon Marshall's strength comes up with the football, shakes off 2 tacklers, and turns it upfield for additional yardage and a key first down.
8 catches for 87 yards for Brandon Marshall, and a first down at the 22.
And look at the Dolphins taking the play clock down into the 5-second territory before the ball snaps.
And the pitch to Ronnie Brown. And Brown gives ground and will lose some thanks to Nathan Vasher, who forced the play, and the loss will be 6 yards. But in the last series, you remember the Dolphins played it conservatively offensively, went for the field goal. They rely so much on what Mike Nolan's defense has done here, wanting to use the clock here, but they're still hemmed up in their own zone.
But that field goal you alluded to has given them that 10-point cushion that feels real good with a Mike Nolan defense. Milking the clock now, worst case scenario is punting the football away for the Dolphins.
2nd down and 16. Fake handoff to Ronnie Brown. And this pass is incomplete for a game break. Here's Kurt Menefee.
St. Louis trying to hold on and win the NFC West. All they have to do is win their final 2 games. This hookup between Sam Bradford and Denario Alexander looked like a touchdown, but Alexander was out at the 3-yard line. No worry. They scored the very next play and lead it 22-14 with 9.5 to go. They win this week and next week against Seattle. They're West champs. Dick and Charles.
How about those Rams and what they have done? I don't care about 6 and 8 compared to what they were, Charles.
Remember, they were 6 and 42 of their previous 48 games coming into this season.
3rd down and 16. Henne hands off to Ronnie Brown. And Brown carries it out beyond the 25. They'll be shy of a first down by about 7.5 yards. And the Dolphins will have to kick as DeAndre Levy stops Brown after a pickup of 10. Clock stops at 5:01 to go, and a timeout called for by the Lions. It's their first.
I'm sorry, Dick. The Dolphins did a nice job there in terms of trying to use clock as much as possible, letting this series end in a kick with a 10-point lead. And now for Stephon Logan, you talk about the wind. We saw earlier he had trouble fielding a punt. He's got to secure this one for the Lions.
And the Lions needing 2 scores in this game with 5:01 to go, and now with 2 timeouts left, as Fields will kick from about his 12. Logan backing up to his 25. Stephon Logan to his 40 into Dolphin territory, and down he goes at midfield, and that's where the Lions will take over. And let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
Well, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman will take over when you guys are done with America's game of the week. The New York Giants, led by Eli Manning, trying to bounce back from that tough loss last week against the Eagles, facing Aaron Rodgers, who's back in the lineup for the Packers after missing a week with that concussion. It all comes your way at the conclusion of your contest there in Miami. Dick and Charles.
And we're going to talk after this play of that great Packer-Giant game coming up. Calvin Johnson is in the lineup and lined up to the bottom of your picture on first down. Good field position at midfield, and this pass is caught by Javid Best out of the backfield. First down, Best with speed inside the 20-yard line. Touchdown, Lions. Javid Best turned on the burners, and the Lions have come back dramatically with 4:37 left. And that quiets the crowd here in Miami. Rookie Javid Best, first-round pick from the University of California, and the Lions on the verge of being 3 points behind as Dave Rayner with the point after. And the kick is good, and you know how tenuous that can be if you watched the Cowboys and the Cardinals last night. So it's 27-24.
And look at Best coming through the wash in the middle of the field, and then downfield, number 13, Nate Burleson working on Vontae Davis. Terrific block. Allows Best to burst into the end zone. And look at Burleson. He sees the play. Now he knows what's in front of him. Kind of stalk blocks Vontae Davis and then pushes him over as Best darts into the end zone.
Javid Best, the leading rusher on the Lions and the third leading receiver. And a 53-yard touchdown play, and coming in led all NFL rookies in rushing and receiving yards combined, and it's 27-24. And we want to take time out and thank our outstanding production and technical team working over this Christmas weekend to bring you the game. Our producer Pete Macheska and our director Artie Kempner, Fran Morrison, our associate director, and a whole host of great people in our tribe.
And I think right now the Dolphins have to have learned from the Giants and the Eagles last week. You better play and not retreat until they kick this ball deep.
Patrick Cobbs waiting to return the kick from Dave Rayner. This is the shortest kick in that direction we've had today. From the goal line is Cobbs. And Cobbs brings it out near the 30-yard line, where he is upended by Eric King. A return of 28 yards, and the Dolphins, with 4:31 left, each team has 2 timeouts remaining.
And now pressure shifts back to the Dolphins offense. Things were rocking easy. Up 10, you relied on Mike Nolan's defense. They didn't get the stop that you expected. Not on the last series. Now with a 3-point lead, 4:31. You can't sit on it quite as much as they did the previous series.
Brandon Marshall to the left. Lines up. 1st and 10. Ricky Williams with a handoff, and he is hit by Bobby Carpenter, who makes the play, and a loss of 1 on 1st down.
Interesting that the Lions playing for the run on 1st down. 4 down linemen, 4 linebackers. Not a normal alignment that you see, but they used it to great effectiveness there on 1st and 10, playing the Dolphins for the run strictly.
Miami Dolphins have dominated the running game, where in the last 4 games, the Lions have rushed in impressive fashion, including 181 yards last week against Tampa Bay. 2nd down and 11. Play action. Henne gets hit as he lets it go, and the ball flutters incomplete. Carpenter had the best chance to pick it up. And a lot of Miami fans and players holding their breaths. It'll be 3rd down and 11.
Went with the play fake, but look at the pressure right in his face. Forcing the ball up in the air. Carpenter almost coming up with it. Lions now with 3rd and long. Dolphins actually have a real decision to make here about what they do. How conservative do you get here with a 3-point lead? And Chad Henne, who's played pretty well up until the last couple of series, needs a big throw if they put the ball in his hands.
And they need that offensive line to protect for people like Corey Williams coming in strong. And we'll have a whistle and a timeout called by the Dolphins, their 2nd. And they have 1 timeout remaining. Right now, let's send it down to Laura Oakman.
Well, we're going to talk about a little holiday spirit, because this week Ndamukong Suh showed off his heart and his dance moves at a Detroit Children's Hospital, where Suh surprised patients by showing up and taking them on in a dance-off, you guys. The 6'4", 304-pound lineman looking pretty light on his feet, dancing to the new Michael Jackson Wii video game. He's supporting the Experience the Glove campaign that helps children around the world. Big talent, big heart. We love that combo, and guys.
How about the dance moves he has on the field?
They're pretty darn good. I think they were dancing to the Michael Jackson soundtrack there. I think Thriller was involved, and he says Sue thought he won the contest, but the kids thought otherwise.
3rd and 11. The Dolphins have not run off much time on the clock. That was their chief mission here on this possession.
And here comes that pass rush of the Detroit Lions.
Henny, and it's intercepted by Nathan Vasher. And Vasher gives the Lions the ball at the 36. A huge pick by Vasher, who has really played outstanding here late in the game.
And when it was time to make the big throw, Chad Henne did not come through. Ball too far out in front of his intended target. Mickey Schuler had him there, inaccurate with the throw. Vasher with a nice catch. The Lions in business with an opportunity to go ahead in this ball game.
And that is Nathan Vasher's first interception of the season. And the Lions now with the ball at the 36. First down. Hill with time throws it away.
Smartly done by Sean Hill. Didn't have anything out there. Didn't want to take the sack on the backside. The internal clock going off in his head. Got rid of the football. Goes to 2nd and 10.
Interesting, Charles, that Calvin Johnson has not been in the lineup. He wasn't in the last series. He's not in there now for the Lions. Their top receiver. 2nd and 10 coming up at the 36 of the Dolphins, and Brian Johnson is the receiver, number 80.
Had an injured ankle coming into the game. The only thought I have is he must have tweaked it. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to be on the bench at this point.
2nd and 10. Hill's pass caught by Nate Burleson, and Burleson is hit immediately, and a 3 yards shy of the first down is Burleson, and we understand he does have an injured ankle, which is why he's not in the game. Meanwhile, 3rd and 2 coming up for Detroit, and if they go for the game time field goal, if they don't get the first down, they'll have the wind at their back.
Yeah, they're not thinking field goal here though at all. I think the Detroit Lions are thinking on the road. They have the momentum now with the big defensive stout. They're thinking about trying to find a way to put it in the end zone.
Hill, and it's dropped by Brian Clark. Clark was free and had room to run, but could not hold on. So 4th down coming up, and Dave Rayner will come on to try to tie it.
Brian Clark, number 87, work against Benny Sapp. That ball's right where it's supposed to be, and it was a nice adjustment by Sean Hill because he wanted a wheel route to the outside. The job at best going down the sideline. Didn't have it, came back to Clark.
47-yard attempt by Rayner to try to tie this game. And Dave Rayner's kick is good, and we're tied once again. That is the 4th tie of the game. It's 27-27 with 2:44 remaining in the 4th quarter.
We've seen gutsy performances on both sides today, haven't we? We've seen that where this matters, where people care. The Detroit Lions down 10, seemingly a nanosecond ago, now have tied the football game with stops on defense, big plays on offense, aided by a bad throw by Chad Henne. And not to overemphasize this, but this drive here, Chad Henne, this is your football time with the Miami Dolphins. This is it right here. This is where it all comes together for him, or it doesn't. He's got to give them reason to believe here in Miami. Here's a golden opportunity for that young man.
He's had the critics, no question about it, to whether he is the franchise quarterback here as you look at his numbers. And the Dolphins, meanwhile, the last time they had the ball, on 3 plays, used up only 40 seconds on the clock. That is really not acceptable for a team with a lead trying to keep the ball away from the Lions offense. So Rayner kicking off. Patrick Cobbs. will down it, and the Dolphins will go to the 20 to start off this drive.
Lions defense helping them get back into it. They've been hitting all game long, starting with Ashley Palmer on special teams. And there, tripped up before the sack by Ndamukong Suh. Another one, that one forced by Turk McBride. Then the overthrow on the last offensive possession by Miami. Nathan Vasher with the interception that led to the game-tying field goal by Dave Rayner.
Lions have 10 points off of 2 Dolphin turnovers in this game. The last one was a big one to tie the game. First down, and Henne has the ball tipped incomplete. And it was Cliff Averill who got a hand on it, and Spivey trying to make the play downfield. Second down and 10. This crowd not appreciative of what the Dolphin offense has done here in this fourth quarter.
I watched the tape of Miami and Buffalo, their last game here, and read the comments of the Buffalo defenders who felt like they could get hands in the passing lane because Chad Henne, with his delivery, balls were low often and could be batted and knocked away. We've seen a lot of evidence of that in the last 2 series. 5
receivers lined up, empty backfield for Henne against a good pass rushing team, and Suh gets a hand on him, and Henne goes down after picking up 2 yards. And the clock runs under 2.5 to play.
And this rush now has gotten Chad Henne to drop his eyes. What I mean by that is, as soon as the rush gets there, he no longer focuses downfield. Once he takes that focus from downfield, he's not looking back up in order to try and make a play with his arm. He's just trying to survive back there. So the pass rush has really gotten to him at this point.
Lions will call their second timeout, so each team has 1. And so a tight game going into the late stages at 27-all, and the Detroit Lions trying to win back-to-back road games for the first time in 6 years. And Tony Sparano's Miami Dolphins trying to win their second home game, coming in 1-6 on the year. And you'd have to say at this point, Dolphins had a 10-point lead at 27-17. with Carpenter's field goal early in the fourth, and it's been dissipated. 3rd and 8. Henne, and it's intercepted. DeAndre Levy still on his feet. Levy is going to score, and the Lions take the lead. Two interceptions thrown by Chad Henne. One to Vasher, the other to Levy, who runs this one in 30 yards for the touchdown. And with 2:11 to go, the Lions storming back dramatically here in the fourth.
Part of why the Lions have hope for the future. DeAndre Levy, their middle linebacker.
Rayner with the extra point. And so what was a 10-point deficit is now a 7-point lead.
Watch Levy right there in the middle, okay? Because the movement's going to bring to the outside, coming towards you. And then Levy breaking on the football, the receiver falls down. So Levy has a chance to make an impact if the receiver stays up. And the receiver does not. Devon Best slips down. And because he slips, the ball comes to Levy, and he gets the big return. He had a monster interception against Green Bay. They helped him win that ball game, killing off a Green Bay drive. This time, he finishes it off himself with some nifty open field running, picks up some good blocking, gets into the end zone, and the Lions lead. And I go back to something you said in the first half, Dick, as Jim Short celebrates. The Detroit Lions have hope for the future. Part of the reason on defense is like a baseball team, they're strong down the middle. Corey Williams and Suh at tackle. Levy at middle linebacker. Louis Delmas, when he comes off the injured list, at safety. Great building blocks on defense. They get Stafford back on offense. Look out for the Detroit Lions. They're learning how to win football games, and confidence is rising.
13 points off of 3 Dolphin turnovers as Rayner kicks to Cobbs, who's running up at the 7 to return it. Patrick Cobbs, flags are down as Cobbs brings it out beyond the 35. But there are 2 penalty markers back down at the 15.
During the return of the kick, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 53. This penalty be assessed half the distance to the goal. First down.
Austin Spitler with the play, number 53.
Right here is Austin Spitler, clearly getting to the back of Vinny Churchill and knocking him down.
And Churchill is down, and they're looking at his left knee. 2:03 on the clock for DeAndre Levy, who's undergoing surgery for an injured groin after the year. His first career touchdown, and it couldn't come at a better time, as the Dolphins now with one timeout left, trailing by 7, thanks to 17 unanswered points by the Lions here in the fourth quarter.
And when Chad Henne was drafted by the Dolphins, one of the things they really liked about him was his overall makeup. Had played in big games at a big program at Michigan. Had been through some disappointment. They were 0-4 against Ohio State while he was there, but they loved his big arm, and they thought he had presence. He's going to need every bit of that right here and now when he gets into that huddle and calls plays, and those guys looking back at him, they've got to believe that he feels like he's okay and ready to advance the football after the last 2 series.
Churchill on his feet, walking off on his own power. But what a stunner this is for the Miami Dolphins, who will conclude their season with a game at New England next week against the Patriots. Chad Henne, who was impressive in the first half, percentage-wise, yards-wise, and throwing the TD pass. And then in the second half, it's been the other way.
Remember, he's one drive away from being right back in this thing. So before we say, oh, this thing is not over, here's an opportunity.
We're going to have to go a long way, and 2-minute warning about to come our way. And Henne gets away and dives to the 12. It was Averill putting the pressure on, a gain of 3. 2 minutes remain in the fourth quarter. We'll be back here in Miami in just a moment.
Today's game is sponsored by AT&T. Rethink possible.
.155 left on the clock. It'll be 2nd down and 6 for the Dolphins. Deep in their own territory. Henne trying to get away, but Sue will catch up to him with that right arm, and the free ball, and a flag is down as well right at the 10.
Could be a face mask on the scramble. The Lions are talking about holding as they made the pass rush.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask, defense number 90. 15-yard penalty.
Big break for the Dolphins here. Damakong Sue on the face mask to Henne.
And without a doubt, a good call by the officials as he went after Chad Henne. But if the Lions can continue to keep the pressure up, what they're doing is they're getting to Henne with the pressure, and he's not able to keep himself focused downfield. He's ducking, dropping, trying to run the football. The Lions will take that every time.
One timeout left for the Dolphins. They're on the 24. They need a touchdown and an extra point to tie. Here's Ronnie Brown, who makes the catch and is pushed out of bounds by Carpenter, stopping the clock at 1:40 after getting 7.5 yards.
Remember, this is a drive that has to culminate in a touchdown. This is not a field goal type drive for Chad Henne. So at some point, they've got to find a way to push the ball downfield a little bit into the seams. You've got deep safeties. Your linebackers are dropping off deeper also. They've got to find dead spots a little bit farther downfield.
And this is the question: do you play prevent or you come after the quarterback? Always the big question. Here is Henne, and this one is caught by Brandon Marshall, who steps out of bounds. And Brandon Marshall will have the first down, getting 8 yards, and the clock stops at 1:33.
And that's fundamental football that the Dolphins won on and the Lions failed on. That tackle could have been made and put Brandon Marshall down in bounds, which means you've got to worry about using another timeout there or changing your hurry up. Instead, he got out of bounds and saved time.
39-yard line. First down. Henne, and it's caught by Marshall, and out of bounds he goes, and Jim Schwartz indicating he did not go out of bounds and the clock should continue to run, he'll lose that argument.
Yeah, he's not wearing the striped shirt. He's just trying to influence them because that's what he's been telling his players. Keep in bounds. There's tackle by Vasher, but the strength of Brandon Marshall got him to the sideline, got him out of bounds.
They got 9 yards and now 1:26 on the clock, but the ball is at the 47 of Miami. They need a touchdown and an extra point to extend this game.
And this is what he's facing. Look at how far people are playing off the line of scrimmage, using their front four to try and get
second
to it.
and 2, and the pass caught by Ronnie Brown. He's got a first down and gets into Lion territory at the 47. Bobby Carpenter missed him initially, and the clock now a factor as we approach a minute to go in regulation.
And they're rotating pass rushers in, trying to keep fresh people on the field to go after Henny.
First down, and Henny stepping up and completes the pass. A penalty marker down. Mickey Schuler with the catch, and a flag back down near the line of scrimmage.
It's usually not good for the offense, thrown by the referee from the backfield.
Block, number 64 offense. 15-yard penalty, repeat first down.
They don't have a 64, so it's 74. John Jerry, the rookie right guard.
And that was when they talk about the chop block. Watch in the middle, right there, because you've got a guy engaged up top. That's called posting and pinning. Okay, you got a guy engaged up top, you chop him down low. You can't do that. When he's engaged up top with someone, you cannot go low at his legs because he's already there with one other blocker.
So now it'll be 1st and 25.
See, they're going to rush forward, Dick, and drop 7 almost every time now.
And here is Henny going underneath to Ricky Williams. And Williams just getting into Lion territory, and now the clock running as we wind to 40 seconds to go. Damakong Suh was replaced by Sammy Hill.
And the penalty flag goes down. I wonder if it's delay on Detroit.
That's it.
Against defense for holding the ball and not getting off the pile. 5-yard penalty.
And that's a break for the Dolphins, who have 1 timeout left and still have the ability to go deep for a pass to try to tie it up.
See, right here, they're trying to get everyone, and there, see, right there, Turk McBride won't give the football up, trying to conserve some, let the time run. Went a little bit too far. That worked for Chuck Bednarik in the Eagles-Packers championship game in the 60s.
You can't remember
1960.
that.
Not here, not now. And now the Dolphins still have that 1 timeout in their bag.
Charles, you weren't even born then.
I can read. Watch a little tape.
You know, that was the only playoff game that Vince Lombardi ever lost.
Down should be 2nd. Correction.
It'll be 2nd down, so Chad Henne 5 for 5 on this drive, and it will only mean something if the Dolphins can get a touchdown. Damakong Suh, who was out before, is in the group now up front. 2nd down and 7.
Look at the bunch to the right.
And here's Henne. And Henne has it batted in the air by Damakong Suh, incomplete, and it'll be 3rd down and 7, and now 27 seconds showing on the clock.
Well, I don't get a vote, but if I had one, that's my NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year right there, number 90 for the Detroit Lions. He does everything. Rushes the passer, plays the run, can't get to the passer, gets his hand up and knocks it away. And another pass batted against Chad Henne. I don't know the exact count today, but it's been a good number.
What a foundation to have Damakong Suh at defensive tackle. Reminds me of Joe Green when he came to Pittsburgh, frankly. 3rd down and 7. And here's Henne on 3rd down, his pass, and it's caught by Mickey Schuler. But the clock is a factor here, and now the Miami Dolphins will call their 3rd and final timeout. They are at the 29 of Detroit. No timeouts left.
The last Christmas light goes out for the Dolphins. 19 seconds to go. And it changes a little bit in terms of what Detroit does defensively. They've been playing so soft behind it, counting on their front 4. You can only play so soft now with 19 seconds to go. The good thing is they have the back of the end zone as an extra defender. So now you're playing back forward towards the line of scrimmage.
So everyone taking their breath right here. And right now, a 16-yard gain and 28 yards away. And of course, Brandon Marshall would have to be the #1 target.
And they're sending him to the backside of the formation, away from everyone else, trying to get in isolation. And that timeout, let's see if it helped the pass rushers for Detroit get some breath.
On first down, Henny with time goes underneath to Ronnie Brown. And Brown is put down and does not get out of bounds. And it was Nathan Vasher who made the big play.
What a tremendous tackle, keeping him in bounds.
And the clock winding down now. And now the ball is not even in there. Time has run out, and the Lions coming onto the field. Vasher with a great tackle and a big interception, and the Lions will win the game 34-27. So the Dolphins finish 1-7 at home, tying their worst home record set in 07, and a huge win for the Lions.
And here's the play for the Lions that seals it. Nathan Vasher allowed the runner out of bounds earlier in the drive. They lit him up for that. How about that? Learning on the hurry, keeping Ronnie Brown in bounds. Brown trying to jump over him to get to the sideline, and he takes him down.
Center can't find the ball.
That's because the ball's not there yet. They have not had a chance to spot it after the tackle by Vasher. Here they come to drop it in there. The umpire, game over.
So the Lions have won their 3rd in a row for the first time in 6 years, and have won back-to-back road games for the first time since 04, and finally beat the Dolphins on the road after losing 4. So for Charles Davis, Laura Open, Dick Stockton saying so long. Right now, here's Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles with the AT&T Game Break Show.